Over the weekend, Eric Trump appeared on Fox News opposite host Maria Bartiromo, where Eric whined about the fact that he and his family and the Trump organization, all of them, have been hit with what he described as subpoena after subpoena after subpoena. And that was actually one of the most normal things he said. He then went on to describe a Democratic Party here in the United States that doesn't exist, but man, it would be great if it did. So here, ladies and gentlemen, is Eric Trump, in his own words, whining about, quite literally, everything. Take a look.
Maria, with the Democrats. The problem with the Democrats is they dig so deep that they always find themselves. And the reason I'm frustrated about this is every single day since my father ran for president, my father and our entire family and our company has been under investigation. Every single day, Maria, we get subpoena after subpoena after we subpoena. They've weaponized the entire system in this country. They've weaponized the DOJ. Yeah. They've weaponized our military. They've weaponized the educational system in this country. Right. They've weaponized the medical system in this country. The Democrats weaponize absolutely everything they can to use against their political opponents.
Yeah.
Subpoena after subpoena after subpoena. Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's time for your company and your family to go on the straight and narrow, right? I mean, if you're tired of getting subpoenas for everything, maybe drop the veil of looking like a criminal organization. Now, again, I'm not even accusing you. I'm just saying you look like one. With all of the people getting indicted and associating with individuals who end up in jail a lot of the time. So, yeah, if you don't want to be seen as a criminal organization, maybe stop hanging out with criminals, right? Really isn't that hard. But also, there's, evidence that your organization has in fact engaged in criminal activity, and that's why the Trump organization has been indicted. That's why the Trump Foundation was disbanded, and you and your siblings were actually barred from sitting on the board of a charity in the state of New York. This is not just trumped up BS. These are legit things that you were found to have done. And let's, of course, not forget the fact that you, Eric, were the keynote at that little cancer charity where it was revealed the Trump group overcharged the cancer charity. So that's also on you. But let's get to the other part, right? This fictionalized version of the Democratic Party that apparently exists in your brain, and man, how I wish it existed in real life, right? I love how these Republicans always make the Democratic Party sound a lot cooler and more powerful than it actually is. So let's dissect these claims. They've weaponized the DOJ. Weaponized the DOJ. Kind of like how your dad fired the people who wanted to investigate him and then tried to use the DOJ to overturn the 2020 election earlier this year. It's kind of like that. Or are we talking about a different way? Because the DOJ right now isn't actually going after you, bud. In fact, the Department of Justice is actually defending your dad in several different lawsuits. So maybe not the best people to piss off, right? Because just because they have to defend your dad doesn't mean they have to give him the A-list lawyers that they have on staff. They could easily grab some new hires, fresh out of law school folks, and say, guess what? You're in charge of those. So I would advise you to not anger the DOJ right now, seeing as how your dad's future may hinge on them doing a good job representing him. The next one, they've weaponized our military. Oh my God, the military's been weaponized. Oh Lord, what's going to happen next? Is the military going to start fighting wars? Oh dear. What the hell does that even... They've weaponized the military. The military is a freaking weapon. And no, the Democrats are not responsible for it. Yeah, they take part in it just as much as the Republicans do, but they've weaponized the military. Do you even know what the military is, Eric? God, you're dumb. They weaponize the educational system in this country. How? Like, I wish Maria Bartiromo at that point, if she wasn't such a talentless political hack, had just straight up asked, like, hold up, what? Please explain the educational system and how it's been weaponized in this country. Other than, of course, what Betsy DeVos did under your dad, right? Funneling money to charter schools that at one point she actually held an investment in. Like, come on, Eric. Glass houses and all that, and you seem to be completely oblivious to that. The Democrats, no, they've weaponized The medical system in this country, the medical system, wow, they've weaponized it. What the hell does that mean too? Like they've weaponized the medical industry. Now, you can thank big pharma and big hospital corporations for that. They're the ones who've turned it into a weapon against working class people here in the United States. That's the only weaponization of the healthcare industry here in the United States. And I'm sure you were thinking healthcare industry, not medical industry, because nobody uses that phrase because it's inaccurate. The Democrats weaponize absolutely everything they can to use against their political opponents. Okay, dude, you're literally just describing your dad now. The Democrats have tons of flaws. But all of these things you've listed here, if they were real, which none of them are, these would actually be positives for the Democrats. It would show that they're taking charge. They're showing some initiative here. But they don't do that. I would love it if the Democrats did, in fact, weaponize the DOJ to go after all these criminals out there. You know, the white-collar criminals. But they don't. They don't weaponize the educational system to get control of the textbooks that they're trying to rewrite to not include things like evolution and slavery and how horrible we treated slaves and all that stuff here in the U.S. They should go after those things, but they're not. I wish they would weaponize healthcare here in the United States to take on big pharma and the price gougers in our healthcare system, including the insurance companies. But they don't actually do any of that, Eric. But again, I would love to see nothing more than this fictionalized version of the Democratic Party that lives in your brain become a reality, because at that point, we might actually see some real progress in this country.